What is up, everybody? Running backs. We thought we had a lot. We thought we had plenty. And then one of them just said, you got one less than you thought you did. Let's talk about it on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. He is Daniel. I am Clint. Together, the convergence is Locked On Bulldogs. Glad you guys are here. Everydayers, those who are with us every single day, we appreciate you so much. And the first listeners, those who download, listen right away. We're glad you're here as well. You make this podcast what it is, and the loyal third segment listeners all the way that listen to the end. We appreciate you, like Gurf, Justin B. Tweetin, who, by the way, is on a campaign and crusade all by himself to bring Mike Bobo to the end and termination of his contract at UGA. All around Twitter. Justin, we love you. Today, we were talking about a few things. One, Trevor Etienne decides to go ahead and pull a reverse Carson Beck. I don't know.
He's the anti-Carson Beck.
He's the anti-Carson Beck. And if I know anything about last year's team, I want anti-everything of it. So we have an anti-Carson Beck in Trevor Etienne. Doesn't hit the portal, but decides to declare to stay and then said, nope, just kidding. I'm going to the NFL. We're going to talk about what that means for Georgia and the running back room, as well as Damon Wilson said, hey, Ohio State, come get me. And Ohio State did not, in fact, come get him. Instead, old Eli Drink said, well, I'm the one left at the bar. So
Why do I have a feeling that this is not the first time that Eli Drinkovitz has been the one left at the bar?
I'm just here to tell you that Eli has many strengths in his life. Attracting people with his gregariousness is not one of them. Okay. I'm just here to tell you that is not what he's about. Daniel, let's get going. Trevor Etienne decides to go to the draft. What do you make of this move and the timing of it? That seems kind of odd. Just give us your general feels on it.
Does seem kind of odd. This is why you wait in order to draw conclusions about your team, because that draft window ain't closed. And so Trevor Etienne, as we said many times about many players, he is in the process of gathering information. He is gathering information from people about what his draft stock is like, about what the prognosis is, in all facets. And before the deadline of January 15th, he comes to the conclusion that the best future for him and his family is for him to declare for the NFL draft. Now, look, no shade on the kid, no fault on the kid for doing so. He was, we said often this year, he was our best weapon on offense many times this season throughout many games.
Daniel asked who's elite on offense. The only one you can come close to answering with that was Etienne at times.
Absolutely. And 1 year, but a damn good dog. Transfers from Florida to Georgia. That alone makes you eligible. You understand?
Throw a Gator hat at a signing event, damn good dog. You come from Florida to Georgia, damn good dog.
And then you're the guy who's laying in the end zone with the football at the end of that SEC championship game in overtime. Like, that's Trevor Etienne had some moments for Georgia. Obviously, on this podcast, we wish him nothing but the best.
Go be great.
It is a bit of a shock because we thought we had him back, because some news media outlets reported that we had him back. By the way, reporting is gone. That doesn't exist anymore.
Things that are fantasy. Eligibility.
Yeah.
Reporting anybody has signed with any program in any time manner whatsoever.
Maybe just wait on that. It does come as a bit of a shock to the system. And now Georgia, a little bit, I don't want to say we're scrambling at the running back position, because I think we know who we have, and we can talk about that. But this is a significant loss for Georgia, Clint. This was RB1, and he's gone.
Well, I might fight you on RB1. If you mean by he was RB1 last year, yeah, there's no fight about that. When he was healthy, he was the best option we had. going forward, you saw Frazier, and by the way, little misleading, call Frazier the leading rusher on the team. Yes, statistically, he led this team in rushing. However, don't kid yourself. He was thrust in that position because we had 3 injuries to 3 upperclassmen. Okay.
Yeah.
Roderick, Etienne was hurt for, lest we forget, much of the time. That rib injury lingered for some time. So yeah, Nate Frazier looks to be very talented. I'm with you on that. But the guys coming back, the 3-headed monster for this next year's team, we're going to talk about what that means. But I just want to say, I think with NIL, with Portal, with Kirby Smart, it seems to me that nice guy Kirby Smart that we saw all year on the sidelines, the guy that was not yelling at people.
Yeah, he was just grabbing people around the shoulder, just wanted to be buddies with them, just wanted to, I don't know, some would say coddle them because that's what they needed. But I didn't say that. Some people.
I don't think that Kirby exists any longer. Okay. And the indications
he may have died with the Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman may have killed him. Just to be
Marcus Freeman
to report a homicide.
Has killed nice Kirby.
Yeah.
Because Carson Beck goes to Miami and he gets money and he gets to be with his girl in South Beach. Like, what 22-year-old kid on the planet wouldn't want to be a millionaire in Miami with a car and his girlfriend? Like, okay, go do you, man. Go have fun. But he came to Georgia, win a national championship. They might make the playoff next year, but Miami is not in a good position to win a national championship. Carson Beck got there because when he came back to Kirby and said, hey, I got the draft grade, want to come on back, Kirby said, cool, compete with Gunner. And he didn't like that. Second thing, Etienne said, hey, I'm going to stick around. Kirby said, great. The 4 of you will have a great time working out who gets there. And Etienne, there's no other explanation. This late into the cycle, the draft grade on Etienne is not going to be fantastic. He's not going to be a round 2, round 3 selection, I don't think. It's going to be around 4, 5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you because, like, I just don't see it as an early round draft pick. I just don't.
He didn't have a body of work that would absolutely necessitate somebody going up in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round getting him. He doesn't have. I said on the show last, Love from Notre Dame, I would take him on my NFL squad. That fight, that determination that he had, and Daniel rightly pointed out, hold on, there's plenty of other good running backs far better than him. You're right, but Etienne's not at Love status. So where does that rank him down? It's low, Daniel.
It's not. I mean, it's not like I don't think he's going to be fine in the NFL.
He'll be fine.
Zamir White wasn't like a 1st round draft pick. He's doing quite well in the NFL. It's not. It's not like I'm declaring him as a bust in the NFL. It is interesting his draft decisions based on where those projections are. I mean, he's a great receiver coming out of the backfield, and he runs hard, and he's got some explosiveness. I think he'll do fine in the NFL. Bottom line is he's not on Georgia's team anymore. We're going to talk about what that means for the running back position group. You mentioned Nate Frazier as well. But we're going to talk about what that means for the running back position group, as well as another dog making his decision on where he's going to play college football next year. But first, these.
These are, in fact, Wayfair. Daniel, after the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. I always find that decluttering and refreshing my space helps me get back into a routine. Whether you're tidying up, cleaning out, or just want to give your space a new look to start the year, Wayfair is everything you need, all within your budget. I'm currently looking at furniture, and their huge selection make it easier to find pieces that fit my style and budget. Favorite part? Free, hassle-free delivery, even for larger items. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or your budget. Give your home that refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
All right, Clint. So Trevor Etienne gone. And now we head into next season. The running back room was already interesting, right?
This is dare I say, we talk about depth. Intriguing or interesting are words that come to mind with this running back room next year, Daniel. You're exactly right.
Because you've got so much variety, not just in terms of skill set,
Say the two
not
words.
just in
I
terms
freaking
of
dare you.
I won't. Not just in terms of the style of runner that they are. You have wild variety in terms of just level of experience, right? You look at this running back room and you're like, okay, well, you lose Trevor Etienne, so you're going to have some pretty inexperienced guys coming back. Well, that's true. Chauncey Bowen's inexperienced guy. Yeah. Dwight Phillips, inexperienced guy. Nate Frazier really got a season under his belt, but got a lot of carries this year, but still, coming off a true freshman season and going into true sophomore, a fairly inexperienced guy. But then you've got guys like Roderick Robinson, Branson Robinson, who are anything but inexperienced. Branson Robinson's been around forever. But these guys coming off of injuries, two very different injuries. And how are they going to respond? Who are they going to be? There are so many unknowns in the running back room. We saw Branson come back this year, and he did not look like himself.
Nope,
Clint.
not at all.
He didn't look like the Branson Robinson that we remember at the tail end of 2020. What was that? 2023, 22, whatever that was. Is that how it's going to be this year when he comes back from this injury? What about Roderick? Is he going to look like himself when he comes back from this injury? You really have one known commodity, and he is Nate Frazier.
Yep.
And I would say it's not you and I are both looking for him to drastically improve heading into next year. I think he will take a massive step forward, but I think he needs to take a massive step forward to be an elite Georgia running back. And so it's not like this position is locked up and it's a sure thing. Don't worry, we've got Nate Frazier. Don't worry, Roderick Robinson, Branson Robinson are coming back. Don't worry, the freshman. It's anything but a sure thing, Clint. And yet at the same time, I think there's a lot of reason for optimism if you're a Georgia fan at the running back position, especially given the versatility.
I think this running back room fully healthy. If I were just to tell you that these names were there, if I were to transport us back 2 years, give you the names of these guys, even when they were on the recruiting circuit, even when, again, Nate Frazier named by Nick Saban as the best running back in that cycle. Okay. The GOAT knows. And yes, right now he's the greatest of all time.
Sure. Kirby will never win another championship. That's what rival fan bases are telling me. We're on a 2-year drought. A 2-year drought. By the way, Texas hasn't won a championship since these kids have been alive. But go off, King. Tell me more.
Ask me. We're going to do a little preview next week. Ask me what I think Marcus Freeman going to do to Ohio State. Because if y'all didn't take it at 9.5, I got Notre Dame plus 9.5.
That's a lot of points. I just put it all on the money line.
Oh, you love to see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, if I were to go back 2 years and give you the names of these are big dudes. These are strong dudes. They check every single physicality box that you have and that you want from a running back team. Nate Frazier checks the get up and go, let me get to the second level and past you box, the one cut and go. This Swift-esque, he's not Swift fully, but Swift-esque essence to his game. D-Rob might be the fastest of the bunch, and I know that sounds insane, but that's what we're hearing. When fully healthy and at full speed, he might be the fastest, and he's the largest of the bunch.
Yeah, Branson.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on, just a ton of talent that's there. Okay. It's the only thing we're missing: production on the field and health. Now, I was famous for being very mad at Zamir White for not having vision. when he was. It's the number one thing. Nate Frazier seems to have a little bit of it. You could see at times he knew where the cutback was. Because truth be told, ETN knew where the very porous and bad offensive line was going to go ahead and get him a couple yards when he needed to. So that's something. But if you're telling me I can have a lotto ticket Zamir White on 3 of these dudes, that's what it seems like we have. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that because one I'm going to pop. And then if not, Dwight Phillips, hey, how you doing, speedster?
Just got a little. But hey, let me ask you this, Clint. Over under 1 play in the playbook for Dwight Phillips next year, because that's what he had this year. 1 play in the playbook. How many do you think it's going to be? More than that next year or less than that next year?
Guys, look. Jimmy C was calling plays. I said he had a secret playbook that he was hiding from everybody. Okay. I remember it. I said it. I was wrong. Mike Bobo. Now that Stacey Searles is apparently still here and Mike Bobo is still here, like it's either championship run or they're both gone.
Cool.
You can't have 1 play for that type of speed in the offense. You can't have it's electric speed. Dwight Phillips is like Chauncey Bones looks electric. Like we have the talent back there. It's now who's going to hit. It's now who's going to pop and who's going to go forward with it. I like the intrigue of the running back room next year. And truth be told, color me stupid, but it's 14th in the SEC in rushing, Daniel. Like, it's not going to take much for this group to impress us. They just have to be 13th best in the SEC.
I mean, the bar, weirdly, for Georgia running backs is crazy low right now. And Trevor Etienne was a really good player, and a lot of that was on the offensive line.
Yep.
But I mean, again, it's not like the wide receivers where I'm like, clear them out, give me a whole new crop of that's not.
Check.
But it's also not like the inside linebackers where I'm like, these are guys that I like and I want to have them on my team. And like, I'm so it's
somewhere in between those two.
Some new blood in the running back room at Georgia. I don't think we're going to go down from 14, Clint. I don't think we're going to drop. So I need to see something out of this group.
If we do, your boys might be holding open auditions to take over the pod.
It's not. I won't care who or if anyone takes over. I will be deceased. I will be dead and gone.
I will just Sour Patch Kids my way to being off this show. Okay. I will just we're gonna come back after this and we're gonna let you know another dog no longer in Athens and where he's going and why it's important. But first, these are in fact Rocket Money. Rocket Money found great subscriptions that we forgot about and we weren't paying for, and twice, 3 times. Definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions I didn't even know about. I realized I was paying a lot of. Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even your goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year. For me, the best feature is a subscription tracker. Use it to cancel services. Won't be paying those any longer. Plus, their goals feature, been able to automatically set aside money for my future. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon.
Oh, he said Sour Patch Kids his way into oblivion. Not 1, not 2, just multi-pack.
Just why don't you just
people love the banter, Clint.
what they do.
We're talking about Damon Wilson. Damon Wilson already in the transfer portal, so don't think we're breaking news here. This isn't news that he's leaving the program. An impact transfer for Georgia. I mentioned guys on the edge. listen, Georgia needs him. Damon Wilson was a head scratcher. We talked about it already. If you missed that episode, you can go back and find it. Yeah. It's a head scratcher. Why this guy hit the portal? I thought he was going to get a lot of run next year. And now he's gone. I thought he got some great playing time this year. I thought he was a key contributor to this year's team. Yeah. I love the way that he plays the game, the physicality, the speed with which he plays the game. I think Damon Wilson is a really good football player.
Yep.
And now that really good football player is going to Mizzou. We were told, again, it was reported.
It was basically a done deal, Daniel.
Well, it was reported that he was going to Ohio State. He's not. He's going to Missouri. So still in the SEC. Not going to play Georgia next year unless we meet in the SEC championship game. Spoiler alert, we will not. Missouri will not be in the SEC championship game.
Can I just tell you, please, anybody predicting Mizzou to make the playoff, it won't happen. Just end. Give me a ticket.
Anyone predicting Mizzou to make the playoff, Clint?
Do you not remember last year, Daniel?
Oh, last year they were.
Yeah.
This year's Mizzou team, nobody will be predicting them to make the playoff.
I just get somebody go ahead, tell me Mizzou's up and coming, and then give me odds to bet that they don't even sniff top 12.
Yeah. I'll take those odds all day. But Damon Wilson finds a home in Mizzou. Anything to make of this, Clint, in terms of where he goes, other than just the impact to Georgia of him leaving?
Look, the one thing that's really interesting about this, you could tell how people go into the portal since it's not regulated right now. By the way, rumor is that there was a unanimous vote to go ahead and do a one transfer portal window in January, a 10-day window in January instead of 2 windows. It's reported. Who knows if it's actually going to happen? We'll see. I would hope that is part of the reform coming. But how people approach the portal, really unique. Case in point, Carson Beck. Okay. Carson Beck hits the portal. He says, "Do not contact." That was
because I already have a deal done before I was in the transfer portal. I'd already come to an agreement.
Okay, so again, it's kind of like Curbinese. If you know how to pay attention, people will tell you everything. Carson Beck said, "No, I'm hitting the transfer portal because I have to sign this paperwork because I have to then transfer into Miami. But I already got this done deal. It's fine." You knew that, and which is why we're like, "Oh, watch out, Texas Tech." Stop.
It's already a done deal.
So, okay, that's what we know. This Damon Wilson, how you approach the portal is really wild to me. Damon Wilson, smoke to Ohio State, goes in with not a do not contact designation tag.
No, he needs to be contacted. He ain't got no place to go. He ain't got no food. Ain't got no jobs.
Ain't got nothing lined up. Mm-hmm. And what this reeks to me, now you can look at how Kirby has handled the defense and specifically the edge. Who played more snaps all year? That at the beginning of the year, I was clamoring for him to get off the field. By the end of the year, I said he was probably our most consistent edge defender. That was Chaz Chambliss. Mm-hmm. He improved throughout the year. He did dang good job, and he set that edge just fine against the run. Even got a couple pressures on QB sacks. Had a huge quarterback sack in big games. Like now, I look at a guy like Damon Wilson. Good player. I am not downgrading him at all. Please don't hear me do that. But the reason that you try to go to Ohio State is to get a big bag from a big, I think they were valued at the biggest NIL in college football. Ohio State comes in. So they got money. $20 million to buy this team they have right now.
Ain't got no wins over Michigan, but they got money.
Please. Sherrod Moore, you lost to Moore. Like,
if Ohio State does not win this national championship, Clint, I don't mean to get us off the rails here.
Please. It's
if Ohio State does not win this national championship, nothing has changed.
Nothing
about Ryan Day.
He's still
and who he really is.
And by he's still
which
him,
is
I mean, he's still Ryan Day.
Little brother. Yep. That's who Ryan Day is. That's who Ohio State is, as long as he's there. If you don't win this game against Notre Dame, not only will you have lost out on a chance to win the national championship, but it will kind of prove to everyone that you are still exactly who we thought you were.
That's
We
exactly
saw.
right.
We've
Well, I
seen
know.
it now over and over. You're 0-2 against Sherrod Moore. No, that's a fluke, probably
It's a
twice in a
fluke.
row.
They call it a pattern. Look, I think Damon Wilson thought higher of himself, Daniel.
Yeah, he
And
bet on himself,
he
and
bet on himself, and it wasn't. Now, we don't know what the bag at Missouri is, but I can tell you this.
Okay.
If Ohio State is not going to drop some NIL money for him, then Missouri doesn't have nearly the resources. A quick question, Daniel. Would Georgia be able to match an NIL collective agreement to Damon Wilson that Missouri gives him?
you would think probably.
You would think probably. I'm thinking likely.
Okay.
The fact that Georgia didn't, the fact that he's not here tells me what Kirby values him at. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Please don't hear me say that. I'm not saying he's not going to be good at Missouri. I'm not saying that. I would rather have him on this Georgia team. I think he gets after the quarterback quite well. I'm just saying I don't think Kirby values him that much. Ohio State didn't value him that much because he would have gone to them had they given him the $4 million collective deal that he's seeking. He didn't. He went up in Missouri. We don't know the deals yet, but that's what it tells me. It tells me maybe I should chill out because this is another head scratcher. Head scratcher for him to the portal. Head scratcher for him to choose Missouri. And I think what is going to play out is he's going to be a fine player, maybe not a great player.
Yeah, a fine player. He's a fine player.
He is.
It's a long. I mean, this is the way that Kirby dominated college football for a few years was he just stockpiled.
Yep.
Player after player after player after player. Like the depth, the quantity of depth was insane. The transfer portal NIL era, whatever you want to say about it, I'm not saying that it hurts Georgia necessarily, but the transfer portal NIL era makes it very difficult for Kirby Smart to do that.
Correct.
Like he just can't do that as much as he previously could.
He has to be selective with the dudes he's keeping. So can somebody on the roster, Daniel, he have liked better? Like, I don't know, a Gabe Harris?
Yeah.
Like a couple freshmen coming in, like Elijah Griffin. Like, could he have wanted him more? Like a Chris Cole, that I'm not calling my shot now and saying that he's going to be on the edge, but I am saying Jalen Walker made the switch, a freaky, twitchy athlete from the inside over the edge and did quite well there. Could that be up Kirby's? Maybe. I'm just saying he has to be precise with his shots. He can't just go recruit 5-star after 5-star after 5-star and just hold them on the roster because now they'll go elsewhere to get PT.
It's just not how college football works.
No, it's
anymore.
Not at all. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk about them dogs like we always do. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.